Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first No Bullshit podcast number one. We're joined by our special guest, BASSFZz. How are you doing today, pal?
I'm doing pretty well today. Today's a good day. It's nice and beautiful outside, and I'm
Yeah.
looking to have a nice, decent conversation.
Yeah, looking forward to talking to you. Happy Halloween.
Happy
It's,
Halloween, but
yeah.
I've never celebrated Halloween.
Yeah, I don't know. I almost forgot it was Halloween, honestly,
Yeah, me
until I
too.
started thinking about it. But definitely when I was a kid, I would do the costumes and everything. But it's been years since I even cared.
Yeah, my mom never even let me celebrate. I never had any interest either as a kid. So I
Hmm.
mean,
Not even
my
as a
mom
kid?
would. No, my mom wouldn't let me. First of all, second of all, I just never had any interest.
Oh, yeah?
And usually my friends would always give me candy, so I had no need to go to random people's houses and trick or treat. I just got it
Sure.
from my friends.
Yeah,
So
yeah, candy coming from anywhere. I mean, that's the main draw for me when I was a kid. I don't know if I was like super into the costumes. It was more like, oh, free candy? Yeah, free candy sounds awesome.
just put on a bandana. Just be a thug for Halloween, just to get some
Yeah.
free candy.
Oh no, dude, I have some really embarrassing pictures. Like my mom used to get us like Ninja Turtles costumes and like all kinds of funny ones. Actually, the one I just thought of, this is crazy. I wish I had the picture, but anyway, at one point I had a Bill Clinton mask
Really,
as a kid.
of
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the people you could be.
Yeah, no, it gets better because my parents got me a Bill Clinton costume and mask, and then they also got a Pinocchio nose to go over the Bill Clinton mask.
Wow, it's creative. I'll
Yeah,
give them
yeah,
points for creativity.
yeah. I didn't realize I was being that political when I was a kid, but it was fun.
Alright.
Okay, cool. Well, that's a good segue into our first topic anyway. I was going to say we tackle the election first, go over some of the big stories that came out this weekend. Obviously, we're a week away from electing a new president here in the United States.
Yeah,
Pretty
we
exciting.
could be a week away from nuclear foam warfare.
Yeah,
I mean, that is how serious it's become.
yeah. Or how serious the dramas become, at least
Oh,
that.
at least, yeah, at the very least, we've got a lot of hurt feelings to discuss. We've
Oh,
got
yeah.
a lot of feelings out
Man,
there.
I can't wait until 8 days from now when we can all start licking our wounds a little bit.
When we
Anyways,
go ahead.
yeah. So the first story, obviously, or not so obvious, I'm not sure, but the Clinton email investigation was reopened over the weekend. I think it was either Friday or Saturday. Uh,
Hmm.
Basically, big kind of announcement. Some people are taking it bigger than others. The Democrats are trying to play it down or calling it as a power play move by the FBI. The Republicans are kind of worried, and I think there's something to look into here. I think there could be something bad going on with these emails.
I think we've already proven there's a lot of corruption. Just based on the WikiLeaks, and
Yeah,
I think maybe the WikiLeaks probably had some. I can't confirm or deny this, but I think the WikiLeaks had a little bit of a reason or maybe a motivation for the FBI to reinvestigate the problems that happened with Hillary Clinton's email server. We found out that just a lot of nasty stuff happened with Hillary Clinton and the Democratic
sure.
National Convention as a whole. You know, that's what I think. Again, I can't confirm
Oh
or
yeah,
deny.
yeah. I think the first big red flag for me was her stealing the Democratic nomination.
Yeah, that's the
Uh,
thing that sticks out the most in my mind. That's the one I remember the most. I know there's other
yeah,
stuff I can go find, but
yeah,
that one
yeah,
right there irks me the most.
yeah.
The fact that I'll just say this: Bernie Sanders strikes me as a really nice guy,
Hmm.
someone who I think genuinely cares. I just don't think that he would be good at being president. It's the same thing I feel with Carson too. There were two candidates I felt were nice people that their heart was in the right place. I just don't think that they would have been strong president. That's how I feel about them.
Sure.
Bernie Sanders never had a fucking chance, and that's what irks me about that. Defeats the
Yeah.
purpose of having any other candidate if he was always going to be Hillary Clinton. Why
Well,
did he
like
even
he didn't have a
have
chance because they were cheating.
exactly?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Why did he even debate? Why did he show up? If it was just, I mean, for me, I feel like just having some empathy, I would feel like I wasted my time if, you know, the whole entire time convention was just going to pick Hillary Clinton. I'd be pissed. And
Sure.
then another thing that got me was they had to pay Bernie Sanders to endorse Hillary Clinton. That's something
Oh,
that
really?
got
I
me
didn't
too.
see that. I didn't see that.
Um, literally, I found it to be interesting that he needed to be paid in order to say, yeah, okay, I'll help out Hillary Clinton, even though you
Yeah.
guys stole it from me.
Yeah, I think the manipulation is on a record scale with the Democratic side, and I'm sure Republican has things going on too, and that's but that's the thing that I always see it in this year. It seems like all the dirt is on the left.
That is true, and I think mostly because all the Republicans hate Donald Trump, so there really wouldn't be any collusion going in there. At least not unless it was a conspiracy to make us all think Republicans hated him this entire time. So I don't think there'll be any shock or surprise. Some emails coming out where the Republicans this entire election was actually behind Donald Trump, and they were just fighting each other in order to build up his fan base and to make him more popular. I think the Republicans are being this go around.
Yeah, I could see that, and I could definitely see, at the least, they all kind of come together this week. I mean, it's still time. There's still time, and at the,
I go ahead.
yeah, and then they could come together, and then at the same time, maybe more of them are going to vote, or they say they're going to come against, like on your theory that it's all a show, and they're just going to end up voting Trump anyway.
I would hope so. Because from what I've seen, Trump really and here's what I believe. Much of a conservative. He's just kind of using the Republican because he obviously couldn't run independent. Look what fucking happened to Gary Johnson.
Right.
He's getting 1 or 2 points. I mean, Gary Johnson might feel good about those 1 or 2 points, but he's not. Come on, he's not getting anywhere. So Donald Trump, he needs the Republican Party.
Yeah, it's a two-party system. There's no fighting
exactly. It. And it's unfortunate that that's how it's become. I think that's why this way, or he rubs conservatives the wrong way, because they realize that he's not one of them. However, I think those people who are upset are fucking missing the bigger picture here. Personally, I'm not a fan of either candidates, but I mean, Donald Trump, I can live with Donald Trump. Donald Trump's not going to get us into nuclear warfare.
Right.
Hillary Clinton is trying to control the airspace in Syria, knowing damn well that it means Russian aircrafts are going to start fighting. I mean, she knows this. She might be evil, but she's not stupid. And she's warmongering. She's trying to start a war.
Yeah, and I don't like her the whole the war thing and mentioning Russia, or Russia was the hack, and then there's also her blaming the vast right-wing conspiracy. I think all that is just so it's like what happened now? Did Russia give the emails to the right wings who gave it to Anthony Weiner to put on his laptop or something? Like it's gotten out of control.
Exactly. If you think about it complexly, you have to ask the question, why would the Russians want to expose left-wing corruption? What do they have to gain? Other than Putin was like, we need Donald Trump in the Oval Office so we don't have to fight with the Americans, unless they want to go for that route, which I've seen a lot of different people try to make a connection between Putin and Trump as if there is one. And other than the fact that, I mean, there's not really a connection between them from what I've seen.
No, they've never talked or spoken or nothing like that. The only thing is kind of like Hillary forced him almost. It's almost like Hillary forced Putin to support Trump.
Exactly, And Putin does seem to favor Trump, honestly. I watched this one interview with Putin. He was like, I mean, Donald Trump wants to work with us, and I think it would be good. And this is just the Cliff Notes version. He says, I think it would be, good to have an ally there. And then he was like, Hillary Clinton, she's poking the beast. She's beast.
Yeah, I saw those quotes too. It was like, it wasn't an endorsement of Trump, but he's like, yeah, I can work with Trump. He's not attacking me.
Yeah. I mean, so, and I think for me, for a while, before I realized that Hillary Clinton was, trudging along and trying to start conflicts with Russia, I was like, I don't want Hillary Clinton to win because she's corrupted.
Sure.
I think having I don't. Here's the thing. I'm going to put this in there, and this is probably going to hurt some feelings, but I'm going to say it because it needs to be said.
Go for it.
I think it actually came from Ayn Rand that made me really think about this. But I remember Ayn Rand said she would never vote for a female president. And one reason she said was women don't have any obligation, to fight, like in the military. Obviously they're not drafted, and they don't have to go in the front lines and fight. She's like, I don't think it's reasonable to put a woman that's had no obligation or no responsibility to fight in control of a bunch of men, who have to and die in this. And I thought about that, and I was like, that's a good point. You are putting an individual commander-in-chief, a woman who has to control all these men when she's never had any obligation to do so. And of course, the counter-argument is that, well, a lot of presidents, were never in the military. They never fought. And I'm like, that's true. However, a lot of presidents, well, actually, that's not entirely true. George Washington, the first president, that's exactly what he fucking did. Withholding that, a lot of the current presidents, on the other hand, they don't have to go into the military and fight. And that's true. Still do have to sign up for the draft. They still have the obligation of fighting and protecting for their country.
Yeah.
So women, on the other hand, they don't have that. And so
Sure.
I guess from a pure
responsibility
point of view, it's not really fair. And I got that from Ayn Rand, and I thought it was kind of reasonable.
Yeah, I understand that, and I think to add to that first, it's kind of like that military threat looms over men more. It's like it's
definitely
possible, even if you're a politician or you got to get out of Army free card or whatever, you still have that. If there was a World War III and we have to have the draft, like you're a guy, you're gonna have to pull your weight.
Look at Muhammad Ali. I mean, this guy, famous boxer. They didn't give a fuck. That's come on, Muhammad.
Yeah,
let's go. And of course, he
said
no, obviously, but I mean, the fact remains, it doesn't matter. Hollywood star. It doesn't matter what you are. The government says, all right, come on, let's go. It's jail. Fight, or maybe you don't have to fight. Maybe you can join the Air Force.
Sure.
And sit in a comfortable chair.
Try to get one of those desk army jobs.
Try to get one. Just lose a bunch of weight, be all skinny and scrawny. Really think that I could fight. I can't really hold the rifle. Maybe I should just, get a desk job.
But the one other thing I would say about, you were talking about female presidents. I just saw this, I think, on Reddit yesterday. There's been 3 different female presidents this year exposed for corruption. I think the first one, I don't know the first one was South Korea, I think just happened.
What happened in South Korea?
It was, I don't know all the details, but she was kind of found out to be a puppet president, and she was being controlled by, I don't know, one of her partners.
Like the shadow patriarchy? No. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's what they said, though. It was like a shadow president or something. So I apologize for not having all the details on that one, but definitely there's been 3 presidents that were female and they're corrupted this year. And then, now we're about to nominate, if you believe the polls, we're about to elect Hillary Clinton as the 4th corrupt one and the first candidate to be under investigation.
No, that's the thing. There's 2 things that get me about Hillary Clinton's lead. Point 1 to me is the fact that she is under investigation. Consistently, she's been proven to be corrupt, to be a liar. She's gotten plenty of people killed and during her term as Secretary of State, and people still fucking support her.
Yeah, I know.
Her entire campaign is run on feelings, and I keep seeing it. It's fucking pissing me off, man. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Like just recently, I made I don't know if you saw it or not, but I made a video called Hillary Clinton's ad campaign is gynocentrism at its finest. It's a long title, but I just go over a couple of ads I had been seeing a lot, and then they're just all about how Donald Trump is a meanie. He says mean things about women, and it's like women are gonna vote for Hillary Clinton, so they don't have this mean guy, saying mean things to me. And really? First of all, don't you think that's a bit of an insult to the intelligence of women everywhere? That instead of trying to avoid nuclear war, they try to avoid hurt feelings. I mean, how petulant is that they're so ill-informed that they'd rather have a liar who's gotten people killed and will continue to try to get more people killed over some guy who said some mean shit. You know, it's not a...
Well, to interject right there is just, I mean, the thing that gets me even more is, you know, the stuff Trump says isn't even that bad.
Yeah.
Like the mean shit, like the meanest stuff they could come up with, I'll just look at it and I'm like, okay, he said that. It's not a big deal. He talked about grabbing some girl and kissing her. Grab a pussy. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, like no woman ever in the history of everdom has thrown herself at a rich, wealthy man. It's never happened.
No, probably not.
Women don't ever try to date men that have lots of money and big houses and nice cars. That's not a thing. It's not a fucking thing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and people don't talk about sex. Or at least when they do, they never say the words of the organs that they're touching. I mean, you can't do that. No,
it's always hoo-ha.
And ding dong.
Yeah, it's ding dong and junk. You know, it's always a thingy. You know.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. And the thing that gets me about that, first of all, is it's timing. Obviously, was dropped at the time. Right now, I mean, this guy was sitting on this tape, obviously for 11 years, and so whoever dropped it caused some damage. What gets me is the fact that it did. That again, women in general got their fucking feelings hurt.
Yeah, and like I totally agree. I think I saw your video on it, and then I did one too about the tapes, and I was like, I mean, how did he even come out? Like, there's like some details to it where I'm just like, okay, someone filmed it in secret, put it on a tape, kept it in a locker.
It wasn't filmed in secret. His mic was hot, and so
yeah. Oh, well, okay, so with that part, I would say he didn't know he was being
kept it. Yeah, exactly. He didn't know he was being recorded.
That's right.
But the thing is, like what you were saying was someone kept it, sitting on it for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just funny that that's their best like bombshell too. Is oh my god, look what he said, and it was 11 years ago.
But it worked.
Yeah,
but it worked.
And that's the thing I wonder about that is about these outrages. I wonder how many of these people are actually concerned with what he said, or they just are because they're told to be.
That's a good question.
You know.
Actually,
because I feel like some people even say it. I mean, obviously, a lot of times we're hearing these talking heads on TV or the internet, so they're paid to say it. But, you know, then there's people in the comments. There are people that buy it and they believe it and they support it. And you're just like, I mean, would you even care? Like, if it wasn't on CNN blasted telling you to, oh, hey.
Yeah, that's the question of the day. If your friend had said that to you, would you honestly, vehemently react in the way that you did? And of course, some people would say this, oh, but your friend's not running for presidency. Donald Trump at the time, you know, if Donald Trump had said that 2 weeks ago, maybe you might, maybe he shouldn't be talking like, maybe, even still, I mean, it's fucking private conversation. Maybe you would have a point. But again, 11 years ago, I mean, like, here's the thing that gets me, like when I was 13, I was having these types of conversations. I shouldn't have been, you know, in hindsight, you know, as an adult now. Should children really be talking about sex? No, they really shouldn't. But again, when I was 13, but here's the thing: like when I was 13, you know, I was talking about the type of girls in my class that I would like to fucking have sex with. I mean, like if
yeah, totally
having in puberty are doing this, are we really shocked or surprised that adults or like men who have the ability or the option of getting beautiful women by simply, you know, having lots of money? I mean, should we really be surprised if they too have conversation and talk about that? Honestly, I have to say no, because then we also have to play this game that women don't ever talk about small dick niggas that tried to have sex with them. ever talk about the broke guys that tried to. Women don't ever talk about the hot guys that they were with. Women don't ever have a conversation about sex. We have to pretend, and I've seen that.
We have to pretend
talk.
Yeah, we have to basically pretend that 9 seasons of Sex in the City never happened. I mean, that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying, and that's what they want us to think. It's like, come on. I mean,
We have to pretend. Go ahead.
are there really that many prudes out there is what I want to know. I mean, because like, yeah, it's obvious for me or some, you know, some of the guys I know, like people that have girlfriends or that actually have sex. It's like this stuff is not a big deal. The people that complain about it, I just wonder, like, are you some kind of like church girl, like 100%? Like how
I
goody
mean,
two shoes are you?
like even Catholic girls, come on, bro. See, but that's the thing that's getting me. Even Catholic girls, bro, have these types of conversations,
Oh
and
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
thing that's getting
I'm a
me.
Catholic
Is
schoolboy, dude. I'm a Catholic schoolboy. I mean, my all the girl, everyone that I grew up with is out of control now.
yeah, I mean, these people are pretending that human beings don't have sex with each other. These people
Hmm.
are, and the thing that gets me is the hypocrisy about it, though. It's the two-step, where if I make a video where I call out, you know, like say slut shaming, and I'm like, it's the gist of every slut shaming video I've done. It doesn't fucking matter if you get slut shamed. Guys are still gonna have sex with you.
Hmm.
It doesn't really hurt you in any way other than the mental emotional damage it can cause. That's my main message all the time. Reputationally speaking, I mean, you'll be fucking fine if you get called a slut 115 times. But the emotional damage is what should concern people, but it doesn't.
No.
About that later if you want. But
Yeah.
the main point I was sitting here, but the main point there was when I make those types of videos, there will be some people, usually you know the feminists or some women, who will be upset with me and saying that I shouldn't slut shame. I shouldn't
Mhm.
tell women that they shouldn't go out and have a bunch of sex or do anything like that. But those same fucking people will get upset with Donald Trump. Him being a rich man, he can grab a woman by the pussy. The
Right.
same fucking people who are like, you should be able to go out, get drunk, have a bunch of sex with anybody, you know, it's perfectly fine as long as you have consent. The same fucking people
Yeah,
are
they're
then saying,
total. Yeah.
this is bullshit. Donald Trump needs sexual assault, and they're crying about, you know, they were saying that you should be able to fucking do.
Well, let me also offer this because, like you say, this double think, this you can go have sex with whoever you want, but you can't talk about it. And then to add to that, I mean these Clinton supporters and the left, they're attacking Trump for this stuff, while their candidate is married to Bill Clinton.
That's yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest hypocrisy I've ever seen. I mean, he's a confirmed philanderer.
Yeah, I mean, this guy didn't talk about doing it with Monica Lewinsky. He did it.
Oh, he did it. He did
Yeah.
it on the desk. He did it in her mouth. He did it with a cigar. He did it all over her dress. He lied
I mean,
about
yeah.
doing it in front of the whole country, and then he got impeached for doing it. And you know, this is a way bigger deal to me than something Trump said on Access Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Like, and again, I've seen some people they'll counter. I mean, you know, Bill Clinton, you should stop bringing it up. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Right.
That's true.
It's
Trump
true.
did wasn't wrong. That's how I view it. I
Yeah,
don't
and
view
Trump
having a
just talked about
conversation.
it,
Yeah.
and then the other thing, the next step would be, which is an excuse you brought up, is they'll say if you say Bill Clinton, then they'll say, well, Bill Clinton isn't on the ballot; it's Hillary Clinton, and then and I would just say no. I mean, those guys are basically like the same person. I mean, it's like that's a dual couple right there.
Yeah, I mean, and they
It's
have
not
to be.
like Melania Trump and Trump. Like, those guys are separate. She's like a sideline supporting wife, but like Bill and Hillary, they both do the same thing. They just like work together, like a partnership.
Yeah, I mean, they've been in the political scene for
Hmm.
so to pretend that they won't be closely together, I mean, I think is absurd.
Yeah,
I don't think that's reasonable at all.
and then the next thing I find interesting about just Hillary's side, I mean, it's her aide. I mean, but part of the reason the email investigation got reopened was because they found more emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop, and he's married to Huma Abedin, who is Hillary's right hand woman. They're basically like partners.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason I explain is just that both of these women, they're trying to get elected, and they both married these horrible men. And I don't understand. Like, I don't get how they both happen to marry like really horrible Democrat politicians that both have these sex scandals.
Well, I mean, well. Point one, there are a lot of women that stay in absolutely shitty, terrible relationships. I was able to surmise this definitely as a form of self harm or like self abuse.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that that's why these two women are in these type of relationships, but what I will say from what I've seen, normal. It's not really shocking to see a woman stay in a shitty relationship. It seems to be a main staple of female kind, at least in the 21st century. A bunch of bullshit that they really don't fucking have to. Either that
Yeah.
or they have the complete opposite reaction and they hurt men that I guess are just too weak for them.
Yeah, and I
It's just,
totally see that. There was actually a documentary being filmed about Anthony Weiner like last year, and there was a lot of Huma Abedin in it. Not naturally, like she was helping him run for mayor. He was like making this comeback last year. Did you hear about that at all?
no.
Yeah. So he was
I have
making
not.
this comeback last year, and in the middle of making the documentary, he gets caught sexting again. This is his second time now.
Wow.
Yeah, and this is like where you really get to see the some of the stuff you're talking about. It's true with Huma, because she turns into like, you know, she's completely embarrassed. It's all on camera. She like sees she's in the room when it's announced and everything, and she's just like this battered, horrible, like stuck in a relationship situation. I feel bad for her, but you know, she got herself into it too. But yeah, it's just a crazy thing that they would stay with men like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, for some women I've seen self-harm, abuse. For some women, you know, it's just kind of all they know. You know, they saw their father or their uncle, or you know, they've only seen terrible relationships between men and women, so that's all they can emulate. That's all they can do is find and locate men that will treat them horribly. Now, I think what I think could possibly be the problem, I would say, with Hillary and Uma Thurman. The fact is, I can say for Hillary for a fact, Hillary is so point blank kind of evil. She's so evil and corrupted. The only person that can bear her weight, I think, would be Bill Clinton. I think they may not even like each other, but they're the only two people who can probably conversation. She can actually unwind and say, "Yeah, I'm such a fucking shitty human being," and
Yeah.
Bill Clinton will be like, "Yeah, you know, yeah, I accept that." I think that's what it is. I think they need each other in that
Oh yeah,
kind
they
of
need each other because
codependent way.
Chelsea needed a real parent, so they had to have Bill. Like I literally can't see Hillary like being a mom.
Probably not.
You know, like I could see her. Obviously, she birthed the kid, but past that, like I feel like she would be just like a robot. Like, you know, she would like pet the kid like a dog with a
Oh,
stick.
who's this little thing?
Yeah.
I'm your daughter. What? No. Oh, yeah.
It's like, yeah, you missed my whole first 18 years of my life.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you get something in the schedule, and we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, but Bill, I could see being a dad.
I can too. You know, all things said. Yeah.
Like, because with him, he's got a personality. Like, I mean, he's done just as bad of stuff, but you know, he just seems like a nice, real person. With Hillary, it's just like robotic, and it looks like she
very artificial. Yeah.
Like, it looks like she had to get lessons on how to smile.
Oh man, dude. Yeah. I remember I was watching Steven Crowder do the analysis for, I think, the third debate.
Yeah.
Where you had to take a drink if Hillary does the resting bitch face. And every now and again, you like they caught it. They would just be like this fucking look for Donald Trump, and it would bleed out. And then as soon as the focus went back to her face just broke. It just lit up, and then she had this big ass fucking fake smile on her face again. And honestly, I you can call me sexist for this, but I actually find that to be a little fucking eerie. That she has, it's just kind of creeping the fuck out. Because you can tell that it's so fake. You can tell it's not genuine happiness. in that
Yeah.
woman. It's just a mask that she uses to cover up her corruption, and it's fucking scary, man.
Oh, dude, I got
And
scared.
movie smile.
Yeah, the one thing that scared me the most, I think the last video I did, it was her responding to the emails reopening the investigation, and she did this it was towards the end. She did this creepy laugh reaction, and I was just like,
Yeah,
wow, it was like so inappropriate. And she's in the biggest shit ever, and she just does this like, I mean, I can't even do it because I'm an actual person, but like, it killed me. It's like she's been doing it this whole time, like you mentioned, where these smiles come out, and she does these laughs, like she tries to brush everything off, and that just feeds into her whole her whole elitist personality.
It just doesn't look right, man. It just looks unhealthy.
Yeah. Okay, well, we got enough of that FBI talk, and we talked about the Trump tapes already. What do you think is going to happen in a week? Do you have any predictions you want to offer?
I can't. I wish I could predict the future.
Right.
All I can do is I can hope that Trump wins in the end.
Sure.
Polls aren't everything. Polls, they don't predict the future.
Okay. So the polls are saying, just to say, the polls are at like there's a 75% chance Hillary will win. About.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, if we take into consideration, last 4 years, Romney was leading in the polls, and then Barack Obama fucking slammed him. It was a landslide. So yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying believe the polls either. I'm just saying that's where our predictions are mostly coming from in the news and here and there. But I don't believe it either. I mean, I know it kind of reflects the thoughts of the country in a way, but yeah,
well, it reflects a population. That's why I don't really trust sample size. I think that there's some good you can get from studies and some good information. I don't accept it as gospel, though. I just accept it as interesting.
Right.
But my hope will steal. My hope is he will win. And honestly, I will say this. I know a lot of people are Trump supporters. I honestly don't think Donald Trump's going to get much done, and I'm perfectly okay with that. Trump, trying and failing. If there's like a political deadlock between him and all the Republicans, I would be okay with that. I think a nice break from a bunch of radical changes in society will be good for us.
Sure.
And then if someone else comes in and they change, I mean, I'd be fine with that. That's what
I don't think it's a bad idea of him just holding down the fort.
Exactly. That's how I feel about it.
And if doing that well is a job on its own, just keeping that strong, keeping up our defenses and this and that, and making sure we don't at least go to shit.
Yeah, I will say this though. I don't think a wall is coming, honestly. So that there's going to be some deportations. I do think that if Donald Trump becomes president, we will have a much tighter and stronger border. But I do see a stronger border. I do think Donald Trump is serious about that.
Right. I agree, and I think the wall. I think it is definitely symbolic, and the border is symbolic too. So if we can tighten up the virtual border, at least with our regulations and stuff, that's a win.
Yeah, and I also see a very serious campaign against ISIS. I don't know what Donald Trump's going to do, which is good. I'm glad he's not plans. But I do see a serious strike back against ISIS, and I think a lot of other people are hoping for that as well.
Sure.
Yeah, and I want them to not exist anymore. And it's unfortunate how we've got to come to that. But I mean, these people, they're killing innocents. They have to go.
Yeah, we need to take a strong stance against it. At least vocally, and then if we can start to support things like that, like attacks or plans out where they're on their front lines, that could be helpul too.
Yeah, and so again, Russia's already fighting ISIS over in Syria. So if Donald Trump becomes president, like Putin said, I mean, he's someone interested in working together, and I think that that's the most reasonable thing. Honestly.
Oh yeah, that's what we want to do. I mean, that's what we should be doing is teaming up with Russia, not
exactly.
and, put Russia and America together with against ISIS, it's going to be pretty much unstoppable. I mean, I think that's part of what Putin was saying like last week when he was talking about Hillary citing Russia and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like take into consideration, we have actually, attacked by people, refugees who are a part of. I mean, they weren't even refugees. They were ISIS agents who were pretending. You had even people here who lived in America for years be radicalized.
Mm-hmm.
ISIS. I mean, we've actually been attacked. We've lost people's lives. Over in France, people have lost lives to this. And Hillary Clinton wants to try to poke the beast that is Russia and fight them for what fucking reason? I don't know.
Right.
And that's why, again, like I said, I'm not the biggest Trump fan.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we had much better candidates, but I'm hoping Trump wins in the end. I think so much fucking. I feel like I can deal with the Donald Trump presidency. I may not like everything, but I feel like I can deal with it.
Yeah, and I think what that reminds me of is what I was going to say before is like, if Hillary wins, we're going to be dealing with scandals for 4 years.
Yeah, and that's another thing I forgot to mention too. When she's going to be unfocused. She's going to have the FBI investigate. She'll be one of the first presidents who comes in the office with a bunch of bullshit from her personal life.
Mm-hmm.
You really think she's going to be focused on us, the people? It's like, come on.
And that's what I really realized that recently when I thought back about the Bill Clinton presidency and all that scandal. I mean, it was mucked with scandal the whole time too. So who's to think Hillary's going to do any different? I mean, right now, if she's elected, that's exactly what's going to happen.
And it's proven because that's what's happening.
Yeah, it's not even a thing, and I feel the same way. Like I hope Trump wins. I like his style and what he's going for much better. Right now, again, he has a 25% chance in winning according to the polls, and take that as you will. But I think even if that is true, I'll take a 1 in 4 chance right now. I mean, it's not the best odds, but it's something.
Yeah, I mean, all we can do is hope at this stage, man.
Right.
And hope that obvious corruption from Hillary is enough to dissuade people.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Well, we got the election covered. Let's go ahead and pivot. But before we do, I want to check in with everyone watching. We got 24 people watching. Thanks so much for tuning in to the first No Bullshit podcast. We got Bass here, BASSFZz, fellow YouTuber and commentator. Thanks again for coming on, bro.
No, like I said, I enjoy having these conversations with people.
Yeah, me too. It's good to have an extended convo. I wanted to switch it up. It is Halloween. We're going to talk about some things for that, mostly racist costumes. This is kind of a thing that has been popping up each year more and more, and now that we're living in a PC-enriched culture, apparently you can't dress up as anyone besides someone in your race. How do you feel about that, Bass?
I feel like it's well, I think I can come at it from 2 points of view. My personal point of view is that we're using the word racist fucking wrong. Racist doesn't mean anything that points out or anything that shows a difference between races.
Mm-hmm.
It means believing that one race is superior than the other.
Right.
That's what the ideology is about. So, I mean, we're not even using the word correctly, or the social justice warriors aren't. And that irks me because it causes a lot of strife and problems between people that don't need to be there.
Yeah.
My second point of view is, even as a kid, now as an adult, I don't really understand why adults are even trying to. I've never really understood cosplay. I mean, no, nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying you can stop. Don't take this as don't fucking dress up as anime characters.
Oh, come on.
I just don't get it. I think you can.
Yeah.
I'm not going to stop you.
Not my thing
so
either.
For me, I don't really get why people do it or dress up. I mean, that's their prerogative, and I think that alone is enough for me. That's your prerogative. If you want to dress up as I don't know, some black character, I don't fucking care, Or if you want to dress, I remember there was one thing I saw. This new Disney movie called what is it? Fucking Moana.
Yeah, Mona.
I don't know. Mona. There you go, Mona.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this one demigod she's working with. I saw an article that said that his costume was racist. I didn't give a fuck. But I remember thinking, like, I mean, they're fucking kids, man, you know? If the kid wants to dress up as a buff Hawaiian guy that transforms into animals, fucking let him. He's not hurting anybody.
I know.
I mean, he's a kid.
It's just everyone wants to cry racist, and then I think to add to your definition part is you're right. Yeah, it's people want to say something's racist, but racist is two things. Like you said, it's believing you're racist superior for one, and then you could do racist things. Like you can do something racist, like say not hire a person because they're a certain race, like they're black, or you could not let someone rent your apartment because they're gay, you know, like
because they're Mexican. Yeah, you know, you can judge a person on their race, and that's true. Yeah, I didn't include that in there.
No, I was just adding to it. I was just adding to it because you're right. And then what I was gonna say is, you know, they want to say dressing up like an Asian person is racist. Well, no, that doesn't hurt any Asian persons. You know, it's not like they're actually.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, it's talking about how you enjoy it, how you like the character.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, if you dressed up as a black person and you hurt someone, or you made black people, maybe if you made them look bad somehow or something, maybe. But if you're just going to a costume party and you're dressed up like Pocahontas, like that's not hurting.
I mean, exactly. You know, if you tan, you know, like if you're some white girl and you fucking tan, you're like, I really like Pocahontas. I don't give a fuck. I mean, you know, do it. I don't care. I don't think anyone else should care either. It's like, I mean, I'm not hurting anyone. That's the thing that gets me. If these people, no one should be getting their feelings hurt from someone dressing up like a cartoon character. Again, I think it's weird, but it doesn't hurt me. You know, it doesn't really bother me all that much.
Yeah, and then I'm posting I think you could see this picture. It's got Hillary Duff as a pilgrim with her boyfriend as a Native American.
Yeah, now this is what really fucks with me. Hillary Duff is the one under fire for dressing up as a pilgrim. Am I correct there?
Yeah, I think maybe both because they're together. But yeah, she's the famous person, so she's getting the flack.
Now this is bullshit. Working European pale white people. There's nothing racist about her dressing up as a pilgrim.
Right. Yeah.
At all. There's nothing insensitive about that. That's historically accurate. I mean, maybe because she has blonde hair, you know, but I mean, maybe her hair should be brown. What the fuck?
It's just
pilgrims were white people.
I know. And then where are the pilgrims? Who are the pilgrims that she's offending? Like, are there pilgrims out there? They built the fucking time machine pilgrims so they could be upset. That's what fucking happened. Dude, that's some next level like time machine SJW shit.
They had to though, man. They had to. You're right. You're right. No bullshit. Who was upset about this? Like, not as offensive, ma'am.
This is killing me now.
Take that off. I mean, come on.
They took an iPad back to the 1400s and like showed a picture to the pilgrims of this Time magazine article, and the pilgrims were like, "What the fuck are you holding in your hands? I don't give a shit.
What is this witchcraft? What is this?"
Oh my god. Okay, sorry, that got me too bad. There's another one I wanted to show you though. Actually, hold on. I had this other costume that was. I think this one might actually has more potential to be racist. Can you see this? Hold on.
Yeah.
Shit. There we go. Oh my god. This was like.
That's just goofy.
Dude, I'm telling. This one, like, I could see this one maybe being racist, but it's more hilarious.
Yeah, I don't think racist would be the word. I don't think the nigga's doing that to say black people are like slaves or anything.
But dude, he's enjoying
But I mean, it's fucking goofy.
Look at him, he's enjoying it. They didn't make him do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. I don't know. I don't think this was a serious attempt at a costume. I think they did this shit to fucking have fun. And if that's the case, I mean, I don't care. I'm not hurt by that. I'm not bothered.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt anyone.
If the nigga wants to be Scooby-Doo, let the nigga be Scooby. I don't care.
But you know that this one is gonna any SJW or anyone even close is gonna be nuts over this pick.
And they will. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this. Look at all the people in that picture. They look like weebs, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you be upset with some dweebs having fun? I'm not bothered by this.
They're just at some party, you know. They're probably just at some friend's house.
You know, they're just having fun.
Got a girl with her rack out, you know, typical.
Yeah. If here's the thing, if they fucking had the guy, you know, tied to a post with a whip, the guy's wearing a fucking cowboy hat, right? Then you could say, all right, that's taking that shit a little too far, right? You know, if you had some fucking Irish woman on the ground getting kicked, you're like, okay, man, you know, maybe, all right, maybe that's a little too much. Hey, Scooby-Doo. This is what's getting me. It's Scooby-Doo.
That guy is my hero, dude. Okay, I gotta take it off. I can't even. But yeah, I just bring that up because I noticed over the weekend people start sharing their costumes, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, if you put the picture on the internet, someone's gonna say it's racist somehow.
Yeah, I mean, and I think part of it is people are just always looking for something to be upset with.
Mm-hmm.
They just, you know, I think it's mental masturbation to them. They just need to find something to be angry with or angry about. And that's a mindset I don't really understand myself, because I don't like being angry. I don't really enjoyable feeling to me to be upset and bitch all the time. Well, I mean, which I do end up complaining about stuff on my channel. This is true, but I don't really enjoy those videos as much as I enjoy the videos where I'm actually having fun.
Yeah.
But these people, they want to be mad. They want, and it's I just don't understand it, man.
It's just that victim mentality, you know. It's everyone wants those points. It makes you, you know, get mad about something. So either you get the victim points, or you white knight someone and you protect someone who's got the victim points.
You know, but that's something that's really interesting to me too. This desire to be a victim, you know, because as a society as a whole, there's a huge aversion for men being victims. You know, God forbid you point out a problem that affects men and people lose their minds. People don't want to see weak men, but they get this fucking hard on to see women be victimized. It's like porn to them. It's like porn to some people. They love to see women being hurt or in danger, or see women, you know. However, if you find a man that actually like they would rather take a woman complaining about the fact that she broke her nail than talk about a homeless man. This is the smallest, most minute problem. All right, I was being hyperbolic. I will take something literal. Let's take catcalling, for example.
Sure.
People will, again, I see a lot consistently. That's an issue. That's a problem with women. Men will say, I guess, obscene things to them sometimes. Most of the catcalls I've ever seen are pretty. They're just, you know, hey, nice ass. I mean, you're not in physical pain. You're not hurt or anything like that.
Sure. Or, yeah, the worst I've seen is some just catcalls. Yeah, the worst I've seen on video or whatnot is just, hey baby, yeah, nice ass, or I'd like a piece of that. It's like nothing horrible. Like, and yet, you know, if you start discussing the fact that there are a bunch of men, you know, in abusive relationships, people are like, no, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want, yeah, whatever. And it's amazing to me. And here's the thing. I've kind of determined the reason why weak men or victimized men is because instinctually we all understand that our society will collapse if we don't have strong men. Without strong, I mean, there's either you don't have people to like build the infrastructure of society in a literal sense, metaphorical sense. You have a bunch of weak, whiny, emotional children running around getting upset over fucking Halloween costumes. So I think, if anything, I think this is more reason as to why we need, you know, stronger, more mature men in all of our lives. Yeah, and I think we all need to toughen up a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
stop being.
That's why you need your father, man. That's exactly what I was saying.
Totally.
He's the person that forces you to grow and change and be able to deal with this shit. That's why you need him. And that's why everyone, right, need to tell them, there are
Yeah.
worse things in life. Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah.
And if I think if a lot of people had that, we wouldn't be sitting here having a conversation about fucking Moawa. I don't even know what that guy's name is. We wouldn't be talking about how he hurt feelings. So
Right. And that Mona movie, it's the new Disney movie, right?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've heard about that. And I think do you recall the main characters? Is that a female-led movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, because I noticed that too. I thought it was, and that's a good pivot to. I said pivot again. Good segue to our next topic. Where I was thinking we talk about movies for a minute, and just this trend, mostly of not just putting female leads in movies more into these blockbuster movies, but it seems to be trying to replace men parts with females in many movies.
Yes.
And we could start with one that you brought to my attention yesterday, the Mad Max Fury Road, and I think you linked me a review of it, and I think that was like kind of the first aggressor of it, at least in the last year.
Yeah, that guy. The video itself is actually a little over, like a week over a year old.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks that I found it so late. It was the most red pill review of a movie I'd seen.
Yeah, I
So
never
much.
even thought of it. It really got me going too, because I was certainly I was a big fan of that movie. Like I was blinded by it just because I like the effects, and like I'm pretty bro with like my action movies, so I could just like enjoy it for the explosions. But when I heard that guy start breaking it down, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, me too. Now I myself, I've never seen any Mad Max film.
Mm-hmm.
So me watching this movie and going into it, I didn't really think much of it at the time because I'm not really a fan of super big explosions and I mean, some chase scenes are cool, others didn't really do it for me. So for
Right.
me, the movie was a bit lackluster. I could see why people. I mean, the effects were fucking awesome. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
Acknowledging how awesome they are, I'm not a special effects kind of guy. I'm more of a story, character driven kind of person.
Sure.
That said, if we're talking about the characters and being story driven, that video actually inspired me. I've been thinking, I don't know if I'll do it, but I've been thinking about making my own video about how Mad Max Fury Road is an allegory of to its logical conclusion and how it'll be fucking detrimental to everyone in society.
Like feminism, if it went all the way
Yes.
down.
If feminism went all the way down and was applied to a dystopian future, it would be Mad Max. And you would see how absolutely monumentally stupid and destructive it would be. One thing I can take off the top of my head, for those of you guys who've all watched the movie, here's one thing that you'll find to be pretty interesting. All the 5 pregnant women, I don't think they were all pregnant. One of them was pregnant, though. The 5 women Immortan Joe had locked up. If you take a look at their surroundings, you'll notice that they are the most privileged motherfuckers. They have books they can read. There's a piano in their room.
Mm-hmm.
They've got nice sunlight window out there.
Yeah, they're princesses. I mean, they're like living in the castle.
And if you look at their literal physical appearance, there's no cuts on their faces. They're all beautiful. They all look like models. There's nothing wrong with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they trade that shit out for a barren wasteland that didn't even actually exist. the entire plot of the movie was Furiosa getting these women to the Greenland, which wasn't even a thing. It didn't even exist.
Yeah.
These women traded their privileged position in order to muck about in this barren wasteland, in this barren desert, for nothing.
Right. Well, even if you take it to the next step, I mean, they actually went back and they went back to the castle, and they were happy to go back once the guy was gone.
Exactly. And what happened? They went back and they killed him. Now let's talk about Immortan Joe for a second, right? Now Immortan Joe is a fusion of really, really intelligent and really, really fucking stupid. Really intelligent in the sense that somehow he was able to drill into the earth and create. He obviously he didn't create the water, but he was able to create an irrigation system in which he pumps the water from the earth into these 3 giant aquifers that he gives out to people at random periods of the day or whenever he feels like it. How did he even build this shit? I don't fucking know.
That's a technical genius.
Somehow able, yeah, he was able somehow. He's got a military force that listens to his beck and call. Got cars for these people to drive in. Where did he get the gasoline? I don't fucking know. Somehow he's able to get the military force together, and they're just all driving, doing their own fucking thing. He creates a functioning society in which he rations the water out. Maybe not in the best way, you know. I mean, a lot of it's still fucking wasted, but they're still alive. They're still here. He's able to distribute the water out in a functional way. He's able to do all of this shit of Immortan Joe as evil and bad, not because he did anything to anyone, because he had 5 women who were taken care of in a vault.
Yeah, dude. And
so, even though Immortan Joe did all of this shit, we're supposed to say, no, fuck that guy. Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, man. He had a wife, dude. What is he doing? Procreating? What an asshole.
I mean, but that's the thing. Now, so the 2 things I find is, one, we have the patriarchy to its logical conclusion. That is, it took a fucking man to bring order into the world. And then we find feminism saying that's not fucking good enough. Privileged, honestly, most of them were right. Privileged white women.
Yeah,
caramel-colored lady. You have these privileged white women upset with their disposition in life, looking for something better. That's a perfect allegory for feminism. Not only did it take a man, and it takes men to keep that society functioning, but the most privileged women are the ones that have a fucking problem with it.
Yeah, and I think also it shows that there's just that they'll never be happy.
Yeah.
No matter what, no matter how far it goes, no matter how fair it is, no matter how many extra rights they get, no matter how all the rights they get, no matter how, you know, it just never ends.
Yeah, because you got to ask yourself a question, right? What about all of those dirty, ugly women that were scrounging for water? They would like to be in nice, clean, pristine clothes, in a nice, cool environment, getting water to drink and food to eat. You don't think that those women would enjoy the benefits that these breeders had? I mean, come on.
Now that you say it, I mean, anyone would have done that, would have wanted to be in the castle. I mean, any woman. I mean, it's just like the kings and queens, you know, back in Europe, like 1,000 years ago or whatever. You know, like all the women would want to marry the king. He could bang whoever he wants.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's totally antithetical to reality that these, again, that's feminism for you, antithetical to the natural order of things. They're trying to make me believe that these women wouldn't have thrown themselves at Immortan Joe of their own volition.
Mm-hmm.
He's ugly. He's deformed. Nah. This guy's the leader of his own fucking town, his own city, his own kingdom. I mean, come on.
You defend him so well. You defend him so well, dude. You should be like his like PR manager.
No, but we're supposed, again, if you look at the way the movie is, we're supposed to look at Immortan Joe as an evil bad, and he does look the part.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything within the narrative of the movie to make me say he's evil.
I think
is he the best guy ever? I don't think so.
No. I think to be fair, I'm not. I totally doesn't show anything that he does. You know, to the girls at least. I mean, he gets a little asshole later when he's chasing them, but
yeah.
But I think you kind of just assume he's like, I don't know, raping them every day or something. Like, I think if you kind of like make some kind of guess, they don't really show it. I'm not saying it's right, but you know, I think just to play the other side, like he's done shit. Like I think he rapes those girls or something.
But again, see, that's the thing. The movie has to expect me to believe that these women didn't do a cost-benefit analysis and say, hey, look at this. I can exist, food, water, and protection or I can scrounge about down here begging for water and begging for food. It makes me. The movie has to say. It has to say to the viewer that they have to be like, no, there's no way a woman would ever in the history of everdom marry a man that's kind of ugly in order to get benefits.
Yeah, it's a
has
definitely,
to say that to me.
it's a questionable setup, and I think the other part too is, you know, if what you're saying happened, like, you know, let's say those girls did come into the castle and because, you know, they didn't want to live in the streets anymore and drink water out of a ditch, so they're like, yeah, I'll go up to the castle and have, you know, drink milk all day and play piano and shit. That sounds cool. But then they would.
I mean, yeah. What I'm saying is this. I mean, Morton Joe could have been a really fucking bad guy. The movie does a poor job of showing us to make him so bad. You just have to assume and infer that he just raped those women, and you'd also have to assume that those women themselves wouldn't think logically about their disposition, prostitute themselves. I mean, you have women now who can get day jobs, who say to themselves, no, I think I'm going to be a prostitute.
Mm-hmm.
We're not in a dystopian type of setting. So you expect me to believe, again, a woman can look at her vagina, can look at her body and say, look, I can be privileged off of this thing, and she's just so stupid as to not capitalize on that? Come on, get the fuck out of here. And all of those women, they looked like fucking supermodels. They were very beautiful women. They weren't. I can't imagine that they were that fucking stupid. I mean, they were a little stupid. They were a little dumb. Second, but they weren't that fucking stupid.
Right.
I don't think so.
And then that goes to the next thing I was going to say about it is, like, even when they realize, you know, oh, we're not in the ditch drinking water, we're in the castle playing piano, drinking milk. Like, they still want to get out of there, and they still want better or whatever. They can't be happy. They have to, you know, they're like, they find a way to. It's like, it reminds me, if you compare it to modern times, you know, like, you know, the wives of millionaires who just want a divorce just to get the money. They don't want the husband.
That's exactly. Now, if we take it on to Mad Max himself, one thing that gets me about Max and the girls is the fact that at one point he swindles them out of the truck of water. He's able to kick all of their asses and take the fucking water. It's fun. It's fucking 5 women on 1 man, and he still wins. He still beats them all out. I mean, it just goes to show that, I mean, 5 women still can't kick the ass of 1 man.
Yeah, he had him.
Feminist-friendly movie. You show a man, obviously with his brawn and his strength, is just superior to a woman in that area. However, this is what happens. Max starts driving away in this fucking tanker that he just took, filled with water. And go back. What does Max fucking do? He turns around and he picks the women up. For what reason? No reason.
No reason. Yeah, I know. It's just like,
first of all, he fights these women. Here's what gets me about this, because the movie is supposed to expect me to believe that Max is supposed to be noble, sense. Mm-hmm. Nah, movie, you can't do that. He just kicked their fucking asses 5 minutes ago. Movie, come on, help me out here. Yeah, I'm supposed to assume that Max had a change of heart as he's driving down the road after he kicked their asses to turn around and help these women who aren't going to help him in any way. He's not going to get benefited in any way. He's just doing this out of the kindness of his heart. Now, make this argument that Max had a change of heart because he was tired of seeing the people he couldn't protect die. Maybe. But again, Max had an obligation to those people. I haven't seen the other movies, but I mean, obviously he had to have some emotional connection if it bothered him. And they didn't do anything for him. And they didn't do anything for him for the rest of the fucking movie. They didn't do anything for him.
No, so they didn't even want him there. The thing I was gonna say was to the next step was like, okay, they hated him, they didn't want him there the whole time, but as soon as he provided his utility, like I think he they needed him to drive, or at one point he starts helping, and it's like, okay, you could hang around, driver guy, you got something, but before that,
you know, when he starts fighting back, when he starts fighting for them. All of a sudden, he's changed. He's different now. Now we can use him. Mm-hmm. Even in the climax of the film, you know, he's actually not even the climax. Throughout the course of the film, he is the man protecting these women from all these crazy drivers coming after them. Protector.
Oh, yeah. They couldn't have done it without him.
Yeah, in this feminist friendly movie about Furiosa saving a bunch of sex slaves, you still have a man using his strength to protect women. It's very traditional. Now, this is some shit I don't understand about the film critics. How is this a feminist friendly movie when it is the most textbook story of male-female relationships? I mean,
Yeah, it's
that's
classic.
some
It's
strange shit
like
to me.
damsel in distress, you know?
There you go. Exactly. Now, I guess you could say, you had Furiosa, who is she's a strong woman who, oddly enough, looks like a man. I don't really understand what that's about. You got this strong, independent woman that looks like a man, picked again by a man who constantly relies on that same man to protect her as well. Um, I don't see Furiosa is pretty much the main character of the movie, unfortunately.
That's
It's her
another funny
first
thing.
movie.
I mean, it's like, and that's why we started on this movie. It's like, this one is a little different than the other ones I was going to get to, but they call it Mad Max, but they make this like replacement main character essentially.
Yeah, they bait and switch us, and they do the same thing in the Force. No, but they do the same exact thing in the Force Awakens.
Okay.
Which we'll talk about in just a second.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
no,
wrap up what I'm saying about Mad Max, but
Go ahead.
they bait and switch us with Mad Max and Furiosa. They show us Mad Max, they get us invested in this guy, and then all of a sudden he's just relegated to the sideline enforcer who's just protecting these women. Like, we don't talk about his emotional state ever again. He's just this guy who's protecting these random women he's got no obligation to, in order to. Oh, there's no reason. He's just white knighting, I guess, for the sake of the plot.
Yeah, it's just white knight, damsel distress setup, and then I think the loosest reason is those flashbacks that he has of the girl he couldn't save.
Yeah,
and
again, that's pretty loose. But the movie doesn't make any connection to that character arc.
No, it does. It's just like the whole part where you're supposed to assume that the bad guy is bad. You got to assume that he lost his daughter basically with those flashbacks.
But then we can switch the focus.
That was Mad Max. We could do Force Awakens next. We'll kind of do it chronological. I had a couple other movies on the list, but how would you say Force Awakens is bait and switch? I mean, I certainly see them switching the main character to the female, but
we can start with this. If you look at the promotional material, you see a lot of that shit was focused on the Stormtrooper. The movie made the trailers, at the very least, made no indication, that Rey was a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
That you saw Finn with the lightsaber, you saw Finn fighting with it. You saw all the trailers focused on Finn.
That's true.
I think it's me.
That's true.
The movie itself. Now, the movie itself, up to a certain point, focused on Finn as well. Mm-hmm. The movie begins with the Stormtroopers attacking. It begins focusing on Finn's emotional state. It shows us, Finn and Poe Dameron, and then it switches to Rey, right? So we get Rey. She's sprinkled in there, and that's cool. Then the movie brings Rey and Finn together, and the movie literally on Finn for a lot of the time. Now, of course, you switch on to Rey and Han Solo in the cockpit. You see Rey and Han Solo. They talk to each other briefly. But a lot of the emotional turmoil that's going on is with Finn pretending to be a part of the Resistance when he's not. So this again, the first half of this fucking movie is on this guy. Right. Then Rey gets kidnapped. And what happens? Finn again is in the control room. Solo and gang come up with the plan. The movie again, we're focusing on Finn this entire time. Then a tonal shift happens, and we start seeing Rey begin to awaken her abilities in the Force. Mm-hmm. Skipping all this, Rey, she escapes. Now Rey doesn't even need Finn to rescue her. That wasn't even a fucking thing. And we can talk about that subversion of the damsel in distress. But we have Rey just starts, fucking curb stomping everything that happens to her. We can get to the end with Finn, Rey, and Kylo Ren. Right? Again, the fucking scene we saw hammered into our heads based on this trailer is this fight between Kylo Ren, Finn.
Yeah.
Finn gets his ass whooped. Finn loses, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens is this girl It comes out of nowhere and defeats Kylo Ren. And then, here's what gets me the most.
Yay, feminism.
Finn doesn't even get to wave her off. Say shit in the end. He's knocked out. He's gone. The movie then switches to Rey, and she's the one who gets to meet Luke Skywalker. The entire fucking Resistance was trying to find a map to find Luke Skywalker. And Chewbacca go talk to him. What the fuck?
Yeah, I can't believe that. And when you explain it, I totally forgot about the way it was promoted. But in this context, yeah, it's like they so focused on Finn. It was Finn and Finn with the lightsaber, and then it was, and then and then the way he was in the movie, it reflects that too. It's like once it switches to Rey in the desert, like half hour into the movie or whatever it is, it's pretty much just she takes over, and then Finn slowly fades out.
He literally slowly fades out, and it becomes Rey's movie. Even though all the promotional material was focused on this black stormtrooper who becomes, or at least you assume becomes a Jedi, but that doesn't actually happen. The movie bait and switches us.
Yeah, it's a different bait and switch, but it totally is.
Yeah. Something that gets me about The Force Awakens, though, it's a lot of people. I myself made a video calling Rey a Mary Sue. And a couple of other people have also made videos explaining it because, well, she fucking was. If we want to talk about a Mary Sue,
okay,
basically the original incarnation of a Mary Sue was a self-inserted character into a fan fiction that could do no wrong. They pretty much was able to curb stomp every single problem. They were perfect. They had every skill and ability they needed in order to fix the problem.
Gotcha.
Right? That was pretty much Rey. To curb stomp anything that came her way. She was not challenged in the film at all. She was able to get over even her emotional problems really fast. There's no issue. There's no turmoil in that movie. She flies the Millennium Falcon, a ship that requires a co-pilot, 2 people, by herself. She had never even flown the ship before, and she was able to do that. Okay, all right. Well, the Force gave it to her. Okay, fine, whatever.
The Force.
We can scale it down a little bit. When Rey is introduced to Finn, Finn's about to run over there and help her. No, fuck that shit. She's a strong, independent woman. Don't need no man. Then what happens after she beats up the guys? She fucking curb stomps Finn. She kicks his ass. Okay, well, you know what? Yeah, fine. A little subversion. That's cool. The fact that she finds Luke's lightsaber. Where? Lord knows. I don't know why Moss could not have had the damn thing. But Rey touches it, and it awakens the Force in her. Rey doesn't have to train in the Force. Rey doesn't have to become better in the Force. She just obtains it. She learns how to use a Jedi mind trick because the plot said that she would be able to do it. Mm-hmm. She doesn't need any help escaping. She just was able to do all that shit all by herself. Then what happens next after that is she fights Kylo Ren and wins. Because the Force gave her the power. Again, Kylo Ren's trained in the Force for years.
Yeah, that's a crazy part. I was thinking that.
Yeah, he was trained by Luke Skywalker himself. He was trained by Gollum, or fucking Snoke, whatever his name is. He was trained by Snoke. And then this one chick who learned she had the Force that fucking day curb stomps him. She beats him. And it's like, well, then what the fuck? Why do you even need to train in the Force when you can just awaken it and just do everything you need to do because the plot demands it? He had to train. Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one. I know a lot of people don't like him, but come on. The chosen one, who had the potential to be the most powerful Force user ever, that nigga had to train. The chosen one had to fucking train. Not Rey. Yeah. Fuck that. The power of vaginas, man.
Dude, her vagina.
The powers of being a woman.
The Force is strong in that vagina.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and I guess the main theme of this segment, viewers, are talking about the switch in focus of women in a lot of different action role movies.
Right.
Trying to shove it down our throats that women are equally as capable as men in these physical roles to reality, which we've seen in Mad Max, which, again, I think is a film to show us how feminism is bullshit when taken to its logical conclusion.
Right. In The Force Awakens, they switch it, and now it's like, the same thing. Not to jump ahead, but the new Star Wars is starring a female character as well, which is coming out in December.
Yeah.
And we don't know much about that story yet, but it just reflects. It's like, to me, it seems, I don't know. Maybe,
what it reflects is that it's purposeful. They're purposely trying to push this idea of women fighting on par with men, contrary to reality. They don't. This doesn't mean that no woman ever can fight with a man, but come on, for the most part, it's not gonna fucking happen. And these movies are trying to shove it down our throats that this is a viable to be in.
Right. And I think the biggest difference is with the switching of these characters is like what you're saying. It's they expect us to accept these female characters in like action movies that need like strong, capable men, or like a fighter or a muscle guy or something, and they want to switch in a woman. It'd be like if we tried, if guys tried to switch guys into like, Bridesmaids or like a girl talk movie or something, like just cause.
Or like the Brotherhood of the Traveling Shorts,
Dude, this is actually this is actually an idea I had last night when I was thinking about this discussion of females being put into guy movies. It's like, how come guys are never put into girl movies, or like they never switch like a character to a guy? It's like it's always to a girl, or a lot of times they'll switch like a race. They'll change the Human Torch to a black guy, or they'll change this character. The new Spider-Man is Hispanic or something, but they never like change a black character to a white guy.
Yeah, they never. And it's and instead of making complex and interesting, females, and here's one thing that gets me. One thing that just kind of clashes with me in my mind is watching these small women that weigh, they're like literally like 5'2", 5'3", weigh 105 pounds, fight with this 205-pound trained special ops agent like Black Widow. Like, I mean, as cool as it might be, come on, we're seeing this woman ass men, and we just accept it like that's the way it would go. Now one thing that would make sense if she fought these guys with the usage of mostly spy gear and gadgets, like say poison, or some shit like that. Okay, that would be fine. I can understand that. A woman would need technology to overcome the natural strength of a man. But instead, you put these small women fighting big grown-ass men. Mm-hmm. Any sort of sense. As if a woman would actually be able to do that.
Yeah,
and which we saw in Mad Max, that's not what would happen. What would happen is the man would whip their ass.
Yeah, and then that's especially true with Rey, back to The Force Awakens. I mean, she's a tiny girl.
Yeah.
She's extra very, tiny.
Very, now, the only thing you could say to that is she had mystical powers. She had the Force. And to that I'd say, okay, true, but that just moves along to the point that Rey's never challenged in the film. To have this female character, you make it so that they're perfect, nothing bad beholdens to her, stop every problem. And I think the reason why we have characters like that is because a lot of people are scared or afraid to show women in pain, even though people get a fucking hard on for victims. If you actually purposely make a woman a victim, then that means it means you hate them. If you actually make a female character suffer, it means you're a misogynist, and people shy away from that, which is the complete opposite. It means that you want the woman to grow stronger, because you have to face challenges to grow stronger. If you really want strong female characters, you'd make these women have to deal with the consequences of their actions. You'd make these women actually have to grow stronger in order to deal with the problems that they have. You have Rey, who's just able to deal with everything because the plot demands.
Right, and I think it's funny on that. Like you say, it's almost like you can't make a female character get hurt. It's like that's sexist if you say a female character has to
suffer or grow or change.
And it reminds me of that poster that got controversial for the X-Men movie, where it has Jennifer Lawrence getting choked, and that was just this huge outrage. It's like, oh my God, how can you choke a woman? It's like, well,
how can you shoot domestic violence? Go ahead. You're about to make a great point.
No, I know. It's like they wanted women as the main characters, but then when they face villains, they're like, "Oh, you can't have that villain hurt a woman? Are you kidding me?" It's like, come on, do you have any idea how a fucking story works?
Exactly. They don't want to see women struggle. They don't want to see women in pain, but they want to see women be super powerful creatures. And it's like stories are boring that way.
Yeah, and then it's hypocritical when the same people are the ones that are watching 50 Shades of Grey, and they're getting all turned on by a chick getting tied up and whooped by some millionaire because he looks like Brad Pitt. But if it's a movie, it's an action movie that they're trying to, it's almost like it's part of the whole feminism, like invading male spaces.
Yeah, I mean, they just want to subvert everything. They want to take it and clash with basic common sense, which is interesting to me. I have to say, the fact that again they want female characters. They don't actually want them to be characters. They don't actually want them. They don't want them to face challenges because showing a woman in pain is sexist or misogynistic. Right. But it's like, well, how do you expect these women to change and become stronger people if they never have to deal with anything? Like our muscles literally only get stronger because we work them out, because we exercise them. Mm-hmm. If we don't, they atrophy and they stay weak.
And I think that reality. Go ahead. Yeah, I think it shows too that they don't. It's not. They just want female characters. They don't care if the movie's good.
Yeah, and that bothers me too.
Yeah,
I think that's a disservice to women themselves in terms of the representation they crave so much. I mean, if you really want good representation for a weakling, that has to have everything given to them. Wouldn't it be better to have a female that actually becomes a super, that becomes someone respectable? Isn't that the whole point of watching a movie?
Yeah, those are the better characters that you would want to watch. Sounds like Bass getting a quick call, but just to wrap things up on The Force Awakens, we got one more movie we're going to talk about before we kind of wrap the whole show up. But for The Force Awakens, one of my funniest things that I've heard about it recently, I don't know if any of you guys watch South Park, but you probably heard me quote it a few times in a video or two. But recently they've been addressing The Force Awakens kind of non-directly on South Park. And there was a really funny scene where, and I agree with this take, Randy was showing the Force Awakens poster to someone. He's like, it's time that we admit that The Force Awakens wasn't that good of a movie. It wasn't really a movie at all. It was more of a Happy Days reunion special, bringing all the characters back together.
Yeah.
So that's just my final kind of, South Park always puts a fine ribbon on, or a fine bow on their commentary, and that just really nailed it for me about Force Awakens.
Yeah. So I agree. I gotta watch it one of these days, actually.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I haven't. Well, I'm caught up to episode 5. I gotta watch the latest one.
Oh, cool. So are you good on time? You still got some time? Cool. Then we'll just get back to the last movie we're going to talk about, and then we'll wrap things up. We're going to get into the infamous. We couldn't talk about feminization of reboots without talking about this summer's Ghostbusters. Bass, did you see Ghostbusters?
You know what? I wanted to, but I didn't. I did see the reviews, and it fucking flopped.
Oh, yeah. Big disappointment for Sony.
I mean, it was rough. And one thing I saw, a couple of people wanted to blame misogyny. They wanted to blame misogyny on why the film didn't do so well. And I was just sitting there like, the film didn't do so well because people are sick and tired of fucking reboots. Mm-hmm. One reason. I think reboots are going to be the death of Hollywood. This isn't really exactly on topic, but just, case in point, fucking Power Rangers is getting a reboot.
I saw that.
Why? Who fucking knows? But that's, I think, the main staple with Ghostbusters is when you combine the two aspects that one created, for some bullshit girl power. Hey, look, we can show women are just capable as men kind of nonsense. And the fact that it was a reboot, it was just, no one wanted to see the same shit they'd already seen again.
Right. And I think the biggest thing is back to that point of, they wanted to make a girl character movie, but they didn't want to make it good.
Exactly. Yeah. I think Ghostbusters pretty much encapsulates that entire idea of they want to show girl power. They want to show, women are just as capable. Women can do anything men can do. There's no difference between men and women. We're all exactly the same. The only thing that's different is one has a vagina and a penis, but we're virtually interchangeable. They wanted to show that in an interesting fucking movie. Instead of making something interesting that people wanted to go see, they put in cheap humor and they just put in a bunch of women and said, here you go. Look, it's women.
Yeah, come watch.
People like looking at women.
Come give me 12. Well, that's the thing that's funny, actually. You say people like looking at women, but
I mean, they do. But
no, that's true. It's true. But one thing I noticed, you look at the Ghostbusters cast. It's like they didn't even cast one decent looking woman. I mean, maybe Kristen Wiig, like on a good day, but I mean the rest of the cast.
You're talking about the brown-haired one? The skinny brown-haired one?
Yeah, from like Saturday Night Live.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Bridesmaids.
She's passable.
She's like, I've seen her. I've seen her. She's not like hot, but when you put her next to those girls, it's like, oh, it looks the hot one.
Yeah.
She's like a girl in high school who like picks uglier friends.
Exactly. There's a word for that. There was a word. I don't remember what it is. A machine coined the phrase. But it's true. It's a true phenomenon, though. I mean.
Oh yeah, it works too. It works.
That's exactly what happened.
But but about Ghostbusters, I will say I did see the movie, and it isn't the worst thing I've ever seen. I'll say I laughed, and I'm not gonna say it's bad. I wouldn't recommend it unless you really want to go out and see it. But I laughed, and I definitely thought it was funnier than I expected with the whole drama going on about it and everything. I think that was actually a disservice to the movie. Like, if you would have just saw the movie without all the hype and the feminism bullshit, you might have had a laugh and it wouldn't have been a big deal. The one thing I'll say though, they definitely they shoehorn in that agenda. Like, the movie's kind of like has two tones. Like the most of it is just like a comedy, like a Bridesmaids or another like female kind of comedy. But then they constantly like every guy is a bad guy, every guy is stupid, the villain's a man. Like they'll slip in those like anti-male pro-women stuff. And that's where I just like lost me in the movie. I just got the bad taste in my mouth, and it kind of just sours all the laughs that you actually get out of it.
And I believe it. Men bad, women good kind of thing getting shoved down your throat all the time. I tell you one thing that really irks me about some movies, though, and I saw a little bit of this in the trailer. Only you can confirm or deny this. But I see a lot of the times in order to prop women up and down. And I saw in the trailer you had the Chris Hemsworth character act like a bumbling buffoon. He act like around these women.
Yeah.
You don't have strong men that are on par with the women. Same thing actually in The Force Awakens, though. We can put in order to make Rey look good, Finn had to get his ass whooped by Kylo Ren. So actually a consistent theme in that movie though is Finn getting bitched out by Rey, but we already passed that. For talking about Ghostbusters, I saw in the trailer this again, a bumbling buffoon around a bunch of strong empowered women, and I'm seeing a lot of these girl power movies is men have to look stupid or men have to look weak and have her look strong. And I don't think that's a good way to portray a strong woman. If you want to show me that women are equal to men, then you have to show me the best man next to the best woman. Woman is only as good as the worst man, then she's still weak. Then she's not equal.
And I have two things I would say about that. The first is what you're just saying is, if girls want these girl power movies and they want us to think this kind of stuff like empowerment of women, they need to be more convincing. Like, they're not really convincing me.
Let's take Mulan, for example. Mulan does a perfect job of this. Mulan doesn't show us a bunch of bitch-ass niggas who stay a bunch of bitch-ass niggas. They show Mulan has to train and grow with these men. Mulan is equal to these men. Now, I mean, how realistic is it? I mean, Mulan didn't really fight, in terms of brawn. She fought more with her intellect. That's pretty fucking realistic. But even still, Mulan had to train and grow and get stronger. You know, Mulan had to fucking do something. Mulan had to use her mind. Mulan had to fight. Mulan didn't have everything given to her. In fact, Mulan was treated badly by a couple of other people. It shows that Mulan was a fucking human.
Right, and that's a good
in her
example.
life.
That's a good example,
You know?
and that's what I was saying. It's like a movie like that's good because it does a good job of convincing you about this woman's power. But then these other movies and some of the ones we're talking about, like Rey and Star Wars, I mean, it's just kind of like, oh, they just give her the powers. There's not convincing you or showing you how a woman might have an edge on a man or this or that. And it's like, you know, convince me. Don't just tell me that women are better than men. Like, I'm not going to buy that. And it doesn't mean just because we don't buy that, it doesn't mean like, oh, we hate women or we think men are better. It's just, you know, I need evidence. I need to see it.
Exactly. If we again, Mulan is a perfect example of this. When we see Mulan fight Shang Yu, the last bad guy, it's not only does she have help from Mushu, but she wins because she's smart. You know, she's intelligent. You know, she uses his anger against him. You know, you don't have this girl power bullshit of a bunch of bumbling buffoons all just saying a bunch of stupid shit to make the woman look good. Uses her abilities to win like a fucking character. You know, that's the way it should be.
Yeah, that's a good movie. But back to Ghostbusters, the other thing I was going to say was you were talking about the Chris Hemsworth character, who's basically is in the trailer. He's just played as a big idiot, like the dumbest guy. Like, he's good looking, but he's just not smart, and he does dumb stuff and everything. And the funny thing about that is two things. First of all, he's pretty much like the coolest part of the movie. He's funny. He's like, if you watch it, you're like, this guy's hilarious. Even though he's playing into their like setup of, okay, these girls are gonna rag on him the whole time, you know. But regardless, it's like, okay, this guy's funny. He has the funny lines. He does this. You know, he plays the good-looking like buffoon well. And then the next thing that I thought was interesting was, like, after the movie came out, I think it was like maybe more promotions or maybe for the DVD, it was like they started to even put like Chris Hemsworth on the covers and like making him like the next main character, which I guess he technically is, but it just kind of goes against the whole like, oh, this is a girl power movie. And then I remember seeing this one post on like Facebook, and it was like just a picture of Chris Hemsworth from the movie. It's like it's like contradictory in my head.
No, I believe it.
And then the other thing that I don't like about these kind of movies is they do this to the guys. It's like part of these girl movies, it seems like it's like girl culture to shit on guys.
Yeah.
And it's like accepted in their movies. But, you know, guys don't really do that about girls. I mean, I think we talk about girls, and I've certainly shit on girls before, but it's like, it's not like that's a staple in a guy movie.
Exactly. It's not even a malicious thing. It's never, even a lot of MGTOW, but a lot of MGTOW, they don't really do it because they really don't like or hate women. A lot of MGTOW actually would like to be with women, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Not something that men don't, you know, talk shit about women with no intention and no aim. It's usually for the improvement. Or a lot of men normally talk about what they like about women, you know. These girl power movies where you can have a bunch of women just taking a big old shit and them that they're terrible people and that they need to do better for them. It's not, you're right, it's not really a staple in a lot of guy movies where men are trying to tell women why they need to be better people for them.
Oh, but you couldn't even get away with that.
You couldn't. You couldn't. You can't even do it on YouTube, man.
Yeah, it sucks.
I know I try, and someone always has a problem with it, you know. If you try to improve the behavior of women, that means you hate them. But if women try to improve the behavior of men, no, it's because they like them. It's obviously, you know, they're trying to save them from the patriarchy, you know.
Yeah, the whole ever-looming patriarchy. So, yeah, the Ghostbusters, I think, pretty much flopped. It's pretty much over, and I know everyone's probably sick of talking about it over the summer, but I just thought it was a good addition to this like whole feminism or I wouldn't say, I don't know if it is feminism or if it's people trying to cater to feminism in Hollywood, but it's definitely
it's constantly shoved down our throats.
Yeah, everything.
On a consistent basis.
It's everything in these movies, Mad Max, Star Wars, the new Star Wars. You know that the next Star Wars Force Awakens sequel is going to be starring Rey again. So it's just a constant reminder of like the shift. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. You know, we definitely said bad parts of it, but what I mean is I'm not like against girl leads or anything like that. It's not that part of it.
If we had more movies like Mulan, there'd be nothing to be upset with.
Yes.
At least in my opinion.
Totally.
I couldn't be upset with a movie with a woman that has to become strong. You know, a woman that has to grow. It's really the cookie cutter. I'm just going to give her this shit. I'm just going to give her all this girl power and then take a shit on men to make her look better than what she is.
Mm-hmm.
And if I got a female character who grows up and becomes a strong woman, no fucking problem with that movie. So
totally,
hopefully that clears up my criticisms.
Totally, and I think it's clear, and I think Mulan is a great example, and that would be a cool, like a live action Mulan, or like, you know, something in that vein. You know, that'd be a good step if they really wanted to make the movies. But I think what sucks is that it seems Hollywood is more interested in like recasting other movies than like, oh, let's make a new female movie, or like let's use this woman's story.
Exactly, and again, I think that just might be the death of Hollywood, but that's another
day
for another time.
Yeah. Well, dude, this has been a good talk. We've gone on and on about everything, and thanks for coming on, Bass. It's been fun.
Yeah, actually, I really enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah.
Hopefully
We should
other
do it
people
again.
will enjoy it as well.
Yeah, we should do it again sometime.
Definitely.
Cool. So everyone watching, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing to my channel. No bullshit. We're almost to 10,000 subscribers, which is pretty exciting. Make sure you guys also check out BASSFZz at youtube.com. That's Bass's channel, youtube.com/BASSFZz. He does similar videos, so if you like this channel, you might like some of his stuff. I'm sure you will, actually. And yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for coming on, Bass.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you have a good one. Everyone watching, have a great day. We'll talk soon. Peace. I'm out of here.